Yeah, 310, 410. Doing gang things, living super clean. That done came up. Can't control us. One time for the men doing cane things. Dead fresh to the T, living super clean. 3 times for my folk that done came up. 4 times cause the man can't control us. One time for the men doing cane things. Dead fresh to the T, living super clean. 3 times for my folk that done came up. 4 times cause the man can't control us. Look at you, you done came up now. Get it how you live, mess the game up now. Ain't messing with yoga, but get the flame up. Hey, used to be Toby, but got your name back now. I see ya, paid under pressure. 25 lighters got them all on the dresser. If it ain't for you, ain't for you then. If you a lame or a sucker, wanna dress you then. Grown up now, bump the childish ways. Got a wife and a bunch of kids to raise.
Shalom and shalom, everyone.
Sure that all the bills is paid.
Go ahead and give me a like as y'all are coming in.
Being on the same block, cooking up.
If the live chat pops up, just X out of that and go ahead and hit the thumbs up button.
Brand new you on the old time road, take care of home where you bust your low. Black men don't teach, screaming bond the hoe. Real men talk, real king ways. Still in captivity, but minds ain't slave. Got a little wisdom, boy, you PD grade. Giving out the knowledge on the stoop these days. One time for the men doing cane things. Dead fresh to the T, living super clean. 3 times for my folk that done came up. 4 times cause the man can't control up. 1 time for the men doing cane things. Dead fresh to the T, living super clean. 3 times for my folk that done came up. 4 times cause the man can't control up. 1 time for the folk that have moved up. Even if you had a slow start, screwed up. Used to gang bang, now homie brewed up. Had a little plan, I had them blew up. Look at you like a man right now. Dressed to the T, smelling like a grand right now. And you ain't got nothing from a handout now. Just faith and hard work gets it planned out now. You could've took a bunch of dusty rolls. The hand dealt with a bunch of cards to fold. You stay hot while the world is freezing cold. The same plot, but the story's never old. Slow clap for your kinfolk. Could've been asking what your info. Prosecutor could be trying to do you in for the 2020 twins, so you passing out the info. But no, you had purpose, you had plans. I ain't doing nothing, I'ma say these bands won't impress y'all, don't need no fans. That ain't my God, who is that man? This real men talk, real king ways. Still in captivity, but minds ain't slave. Got a little wisdom, boy, you peep these grades. Giving out the knowledge on the stoop these days. 1 time for the men doing cane things. Dead fresh to the T, living super clean. 3 times for my folk that done came up. 4 times cause the man can't control up. 1 time for the men doing cane things. Dead fresh to the T, living super clean. 3 times for my folk that done came up. 4 times cause the man can't control up. Yeah, real man. Sheesh. Yeah. Doing gang things.
Mono.
Living super clean. That it came up.
1 time for my king doing king things. Mom these hoes cause he know he got a good thing.
Shalom and shalom, sisters and cousins, and praise the Lord. Saints, it's your favorite housewife, Miss Mono. Hello. Greetings to you all. Well, good evening to you all. I hope everyone is doing well. Tierra Montgomery, shalom, sis. Thank you for joining me. As y'all are coming in, please hit the like button for me. If you see the live chat, just hit the X on the right of that, and then you'll see the thumbs up button. Go ahead and give me the thumbs up. If you are joining us on YouTube, Facebook, or any other streaming platform, if you're not on YouTube, please head over to the YouTube at Monologue Magad, MONOLOG MAGAD. I'm going to put it right here for you so you can see it. If you're not on the YouTube, join us on the YouTube. Like, share, subscribe, turn on your notifications so you'll know when we go live here at the House of Mono. Speaking of the House of Mono, I have to shout out my lovely, lovely husband, Monologue Magad, the one and only, the man, the myth, the legend, all that good stuff. All right, so a few things to talk about today, right? So I was trying to decide like what order I wanted to go and how I wanted to do this. Okay. So, one of the first things I wanted to talk to, okay, our main topic that we're going to get to, our main topic is about Brittney Griner. She's free. She was exchanged today. But I don't know if you guys have been reading the comments, but a certain group of people, more than other groups of people, seem to have kind of the same complaints, the same questions, the same issues with the exchange and with her newfound freedom. So we're going to get into that a little bit later. But the first thing I wanted to talk about, in the midst of all this Coach Prime news, it's kind of hard to find anything else, right? Everything is talking about Coach Prime. And it seems like as the days go by, the treatment of him is getting worse. Like, they vandalized his mural at Jackson State. The people who are not happy are strongly voicing their criticism. But I was what were I forgot what we were listening to, but they were kind of playing back some of his points. So a few things that we can learn based on some of his original points and what he's doing now. So the first thing that I grasped is that he said that taking the job at Jackson State was a call that he felt from God. He felt that God was telling him to go and like revive this HBCU, help them as much as he could, and so on. Okay. So the people are trying to make it seem like, oh, the 3 years couldn't have been long enough. Like, if God gave him this call on his life for real, then he should never leave. So, but how can he say that? Like, how can any of us imprint our opinions on a calling that this man said he got from God? Who are we to predict that? We don't know the time frame. We don't know what that looks like. Okay? And honestly, like, if you've ever felt led to do something, you yourself don't know what the thing looks like that you feel led to do. You just know, okay, I'm supposed to do it, right? So for people to just, gang up on him and say, well, if God told you to do it, then how do you know you're done? No. Mind your business. Mind your business. Now you are overstepping your boundaries. The second thing that I think that we all can learn from that, and I think these apply to every area of your life. It's not just about dating. This can be about your career. This can be about your friendships. But the second thing is knowing when it's time to move on. My single ladies, and again, it's not just about dating, but since that's what we talk about a lot here, let's just stay here, okay? Listen, it does not take a whole day to recognize sunshine, okay? And what that means is, if a man wants to make you a wife, he will make you a wife. If he feels like you are a good thing, something that he wants to hold on to, something that he wants to possess, he's going to do that. It's not going to take 3 years and 5 years and 10 and 15 years. It's not going to take that. It's not going to take 4 and 5 and 6 kids. It's not going to take that for that man to know what he wants to do with you, for him to know at what capacity he wants you in his life. So, know when it's time to move on. And one thing I noticed is a lot of people don't know it's time to move on until after the kid is here. No. And this is why I tell y'all, when you feel like it's time to leave, because that's what happens, right? You feel like it's time to move on, you stick around, and the next thing you know, you're pregnant and you're causing a child to grow up in a broken home. No matter how much they try to say that, oh, it's not a big deal, it is. It is. As a child who grew up in a broken home, and now as a wife who's raising children in a 2-parent household, let me tell you that it is. Okay, so just know when it's time to go. Like he said, coaches either get elevated or terminated. So if he was to stay there, what's the end? What more could he have done? And you need to ask yourself this too when you're trying to figure out if it's time to move on from a situation, even if it's a job, okay? what more could I have done? Did I do all that I could do? Did I put my best foot forward? Did I give my whole effort? And let's be clear, this doesn't mean that you're going to be perfect every single day. No. But overall, like, did I show up as much as I could? Right? And if you feel like the answer is yes, then, proceed to elevate yourself. In relationships, I mean, yeah, I guess you need to ask yourself. So my thing with relationships is if it's just not there for you, it's just not there for you. And unfortunately, a lot of us will try to make something there because we just don't want to be alone. Okay, especially this time of year, the stress of these gatherings that some of you choose to attend. Um comes with the stress of, oh, you ain't got a man yet, you ain't got a boyfriend yet, he ain't asked you to marry him yet, and all that good stuff. I get that. But don't fall for that and let that cause you to make some decisions that you're just not gonna like. Now and in the future. Just don't do it. Don't fall for the hype. You know what they say, it's cold outside, hide your apartments. So keep that in mind. And like I said, just know when it's time to be done. Like, just, okay, this is wore itself out. It's time to be done. Even with your friendships. Even with your friendships. Let's go to the next point, okay? The next point is people will never be happy for you, no matter what you do or don't do, if they don't think that that's what you should have done, right? I don't, and I'm honestly having a hard time understanding why people aren't more happy for him. I'm really having a hard time understanding why this is even a debate, but it is. So I think the other thing you can take from this is when you are making a decision for yourself, that decision has to be only for yourself. You can't look to other people to confirm or approve or disapprove of your decision. As you can see, you can have so many different varying opinions, but again, nobody was there at the beginning of that conversation with you and God. Nobody was there when you decided to start this project. Nobody was there when you took that job. Like, nobody was there when you felt led to do whatever it is that you're doing. Right? So the interference from people now that you're at phase 1, you completed phase 1. Okay, now it's time to move on. Listen, if people didn't feel like it was time for you to move on, if they felt like you moving on too fast, if they feel like you're moving on without them, if they feel like, you're taking something from them, it's horrible. It's horrible. And I guess the only people who might have a legitimate gripe would be the students at Jackson State. Maybe, perhaps. Because I don't know if you guys have been looking, but a lot of people have now decommitted from Jackson State. And so I get it. I kind of get it. Like, they feel like their football program is probably going to be trash now. But again, I'm not mad at Coach Prime for doing what he had to do. So just a few things I wanted to point out. I was like, oh, okay. Like, the whole situation is a lesson. It's a lesson for us all. You know what I mean? So we're just going to take what we can from that and apply it to your life. And remember, hey, if you feel led to do something, don't let anyone dictate that, change that, sway you from that. Don't let their opinions bother you. All right. Hit the like button for me if you just came in. Leave a comment, like, share, subscribe, tell your friends, turn on your notifications so you know when we go live here at the House of Mono. So this segment is usually the Rob Shalom. We got to talk about it. So I was going to have this as the what's going on in Babylon segment, but everybody's talking about it. So I'm like, okay, we just need to get into this. All right. And let me just say, I am not, as I'm giving you these facts, I'm just giving you facts. Okay. I'm not stating an opinion one way or the other. If I do, Tanya, shalom and shalom, sis, thank you for joining me. If I do state, hey, this is my opinion, then that's my opinion. But because I'm presenting two very disparaging sides of an issue, I just want to clear that up. Okay. All right. So after almost 300 days, Brittney Griner has been exchanged for Russian arms dealer Victor Bout. Now, regardless of how you feel, I'm gonna have to give a hand clap because at the end of the day, that's a black woman who's out of jail. Okay, out of a Russian jail at that. So, again, on that note, I'm happy. I'm happy for her loved ones. All right, but if you've been reading the comments, the paper shaded people are up in arms, are up in arms about the exchange. She was a whole slave over there for no reason for a vape pen. She should have been free. Exactly. I agree. Okay, so we're gonna get to that because that was something that did kind of throw me off when they were talking about like the condition she was facing. I don't know how like closely y'all was reading the articles, but for like the past week or so, they've been saying, oh yeah, she's going to a penal colony. We don't know where she is. And then today they announced that the exchange had occurred and she had been released. So, they was kind of lying to us the whole time. But anyway, we ain't gonna get into that. All right, who is Victor Bout? Why was he in jail in the first place? And why is it a big deal that he was exchanged for Brittney Griner? All right. So Victor Bout is an entrepreneur and a Soviet military translator, or at least he used to be. Okay. He got 25 years. He was convicted to 25 years for using his multiple companies to smuggle weapons from Eastern Europe to Africa and the Middle East during the 1990s and the early 2000s. Now, not to age myself, I remember this time. I don't know how many of you remember Operation Iraqi Freedom, and also the genocide that was occurring in Rwanda at that time. I'm sure it was occurring in other places, but that was like the main, that's what the press kept talking about. So, from what I've been reading, this Victor Bout was engaged in that. These arms that he was dealing were going to help the oppressive regime in Rwanda at that time. Okay. Shalom, Jay Faulkner. Shalom. Thank you for joining me, the paper shaded people. I mean, y'all know what I'm trying to say, but I don't want to get in Facebook jail. So, All right. So yeah, he's traveling around the world using this company to sell weapons through, launder money through all kinds of great criminal activity. So on November 2nd, 2011, he was convicted of conspiracy to kill US citizens and officials. Now, here's the thing. He was kind of like set up, and he was arrested in, I want to say, Afghanistan, like on the edge of an exchange. Okay. So like they were chasing him. It was a whole long thing. He was also charged of delivery of an anti-aircraft missile and providing aid to a terrorist organization. I mean, he was a Russian arms dealer. The Americans caught him. Because that's you know what I mean? Like I hate to say it, but that's more commonplace than we think. So it's kind of like, okay, Ann. All right, so now let's look at Brittney Griner. Okay. She is a 2-time Olympic gold medalist, WNBA champ, right? Like a movie. He hasn't got the name of the movie, but there is a movie out about him. Yes. 2-time Olympic gold medalist, WNBA champ. She was arrested for having a vape pen, which THC is illegal in Russia. Okay. Now she had her vape pen. She had a card. Here's the thing. She had the medicinal use card to have it here in the United States. And she said in her trial, she was just packing. She wasn't thinking. She just threw it in there. Now, and here's my thing. She has been playing in Russia for years now. For years now. Is this the first time this happened? Or was it blown out of proportion because of what's going on in the Ukraine? I think the thing is, I don't think people are like willing to kind of remove the curtain and look behind the scenes to see what may be going on. I don't think it's a coincidence that all this happened right at the start of the Ukraine conflict. I don't think it's a coincidence at all. Not only that, Trump's not in office anymore. I don't want to make any false allegations. So that's all I'm going to say about that. But it's just the timing of the whole situation is weird. It's kind of funny, right? And so when she first gets arrested, what you have or what you see is an outpouring of racist, paper shaded people saying, "Ooh, good for her. She didn't like America anyway. She took a knee at the Pledge of Allegiance anyway. She claims America is so bad to her people anyway. She doesn't need to be here." And I was like, are these people really going to take this woman's imprisonment in a communist regime? Okay. Nobody wants to be imprisoned there. Nobody wants to be in prison, period. But I think that like, if I had to choose places around the world, that's definitely one of the last places I'm going to get locked up in. Okay. So why is that a time for people to feel like they got their revenge for her for standing up for Black people? You know, that the amount of hate that was poured out behind her arrest because she was a supporter of Kaepernick, because she was taking a knee, because she was involved with BLM. Okay. And we're not gonna go there. We're not gonna go there. We're gonna stay here, because the thing is, the people that are hating on her they're not hating on her because of her sexuality. The people that are mad at her for taking a knee, they're not mad at her for taking a knee because of who she sleeps with at night. They're mad at her for taking a knee for standing up for Black people, for people with the same skin tone as her. So I think that we should be mature enough to say, hey, we don't agree with everything this sister is doing, but we do support her freedom. Like we're not gonna stand by and just let y'all take one of us like this and not say anything about it. I don't understand how come over and over again Black people can see other Black people being mistreated and feel like that because they have some tweak, a difference of thought or lifestyle or income class, that it's not gonna affect you. Now, let me say this. When it comes to the Black elite, they do live a different life. Okay. The Black elite, yes, absolutely. They live a different life. I don't know if you've been lucky enough or blessed enough to kind of like read any books or just see any commentary on how those sets of people live. There's a book called Our Kind of People. It's nothing like the trashy television show. You really have to get this book, and it really gives you an insight into old Black money and how they feel about people of a lower class than them, even Black people. Okay. They feel like by the time they get to that point that their class transcends their race. Okay, but that's all gonna tie in here in a second. That's why I love free speech. I want to know who my enemies are. Thank you. The racist folk are showing out, and I love it. Draw the line in the sand so I know where you stand. See, and that's what I say. Don't quiet the racists. Let them talk. I want to know. Like, I want to know who is who and what is what. If you don't want me here, sir, I don't want to be here. So, by all means, please hang your little whites only sign on the. Listen, Martin Luther King Jr. himself said his people in the house. Oh, well, you're not. No, but I have seen the effects of integration. And I can't imagine that segregation would be much worse. In fact, I could only better. The only problem is they won't let us segregate in peace. We've had our own. We've had our own communities. We've had our own banks. We've had our own financial districts, our own schools, our own economies. We've had our own. And every time you turn around, our leaders are being killed. Our communities are being bombed. Our water is being poisoned. Our children are being taken, forced to be inoculated. There's a well, actually, there are a few places in the country. If you look up like pork manufacturing, and these chemical plants, like these plastic manufacturers and stuff like that, look at the communities that they are around and the people that they affect. Black and brown people are dying at alarming rates because they are forced to live right in the vicinity of these pollutants. So, I mean, it's all over and it's everywhere. Classism is very real. And it's kind of like, I kind of don't blame them. And I'm going to tell you why I don't blame them. Because in this world, it's either we winning or we losing. There is no in between. You're either on the top or you're on the bottom. Let's take, for instance, the colonizers, right? They understand this principle. They understand this principle, which is why they tried to take all of us out. They didn't want to leave any of us because they knew if they were not the absolute power, then it was no power at all. You know, you can't claim to have control over something, but your control is limited. Then you don't have control. You may have some, like you may have some say, but you don't have control unless you got the overwhelming majority. Well, no, that's shares. We're not talking about that. Anyway. So what you had when she first got arrested, a documentary based on, but I think my daughter told me she watched that documentary. Yeah, but the book is a really good read. It's a long book, but it's a great read. Totally worth it. And peace, shalom, sis. Love you too. All right. So yes, the people was, honey, the paper shaded people were elated when Brittney Griner got locked up. I don't know if y'all remember this, but they were like, "Ooh, yes, send that right where she belonged." Okay. So she went through the trial and everything, and the exchange was kind of on the table the whole time. I don't know if y'all remember. But and then there was supposed to be someone else too, Paul Whelan. I don't know if y'all remember when they started mentioning this man's name with Brittney's, right? And it made me mad. And I'm gonna tell you why it made me mad. It made me mad because Black people could never have anything to ourselves. We can never, our freedom fight always has to be someone else's fight. Like, look at what happened to the civil rights movement. It was supposed to be for Black people, right? But now you got the alphabet mafia. Okay, they done totally hijacked the civil rights movement. It's not for us no more. It's not, because you know why? If I go somewhere and claim discrimination, a Black man in a dress can come right next to me and claim that I discriminated against him because he's a woman. He can claim, do you understand? Like, he can claim that I'm oppressing him for something that's not really real. Me, an actual oppressed person. I mean, in general, me, a Black woman, has the power to oppress a Black man. What would my oppression be based on? He could say I'm pressing him solely based on the fact that I don't agree that he's a woman. That's not what the civil rights movement was for. It was to keep y'all from killing us when we wanted to come and sit in a restaurant or watch a movie or something. The civil rights movement was not for you to decide that you want to live in open rebellion and robust sin and make everybody else have to go along with it. every time there's a movement for Black people, we're supposed to include others. No, I'm tired of that. We can't never even get our own stuff together. How y'all always trying to pick up somebody else? But anyway. So that kind of made me mad about the whole them adding Paul Whelan to the whole Free Britney thing, because listen, if his people did not care enough to alert the media and alarm the masses that their loved one had been falsely imprisoned, why in the world is we gonna add this white man's burden on this Black woman's shoulders? Why is that okay? No, and I was mad about it. I hated it. Paul Whelan. What about Brittney Griner? And I don't have no qualms about saying that. We have to start loving our own people enough to say, no, let's take care of ours first. And I'm so glad that she is free. Listen, if he would have got free too, then more power to him and his people. Okay, but he didn't. I'm sorry, but I'm not sorry. I mean, Paul Whelan was a whole spy. Convicted, okay? Victor Bout sat in jail and did his time until an opportunity such as this came along for him to get free. I'm not crying. Shawana man. I'm about to share this. Thank you. Please like, share, subscribe. Tell your friends, tell your cousins. Turn on your notifications so you know when we go live here at the House of Mono. We're going to start doing more spontaneous broadcasting. Chinese folks got more right in there. Listen, almost, because I did see some footage where they are making Chinese people in certain provinces that are under quarantine. They have to go and line up every day for a COVID test, right? And then if their COVID test is approved, their little digital passport on their phone stays green. Now, if their little digital passport on their phone is not green, they can't shop. They can't pay bills. They can't go to the bank. They can't do anything. You are like literally stuck in your house, and there's nothing you can do if you're not complying and your digital passport is not green. Listen, y'all, it's a hard position to be in, and I get it, because you're like, okay, yes, the world is in it. Whoop, let's wrap it up, Lord. It's time to get up out of here. But also, no, we still got to stay down here and live. You know what I mean? So this is in China. Just look up not digital passport, what social, what do they call them? Like social IDs or social quotes or something like that. But they give you a rating based on your social behavior, and that determines what you can and cannot do. Every place you go, you got to show your phone, and based on your social behavior rating for that day, that determines what you can and cannot do. That's what's going on in China right now. I'm getting off topic. But see why the whole vaccine passport thing is like, the whole digital vaccine card is like, because now I can force you to pull up your, It's too close. It's too close. And that's the thing. For some reason, we don't tend to see stuff in this country until it's right in our backyard. We don't want none of that. All right, so back to Brittney Griner, Paul Whelan. And so now it's just Joe Biden being involved in this thing. I'm not gonna lie, just kind of I don't like Joe. I don't like Joe. I don't. I'm sorry. There are no redeeming qualities about him. Not gonna lie, I don't. I've been paused. I'm being paused. What do you want me to stop saying? Hold on, y'all.
One time. Yeah. 3 times. 4 times. Doing gang things.
Okay, all right, y'all. My bad. I'm sorry. Here. You can do it. I can't figure it out right now. Okay. What'd you say? I know. My husband, y'all. My husband. Okay, let's get to the comment to get me back on topic. The media be doing too much. It is a narrative to keep people stressed, depressed, and oppressed. So, listen. So that's okay. Back to that. The way they were reporting it on the past week, y'all. Did y'all pay attention? See, this one I don't like. I don't like insults to my intelligence. Okay. I don't like insults to my intelligence. I don't like events occurring without an explanation. And I don't like stuff that makes sense. You're not about to tell me that the grass is purple and that's okay. No, sir, cousin. You need to explain to me what's going on. So I don't like the whole they were lying to us. Just don't say nothing. Because now it just reinforces my unbelief in the media in the first place. You understand what I'm saying? Like, I already hardly believe anything that's on the news, anything that's on television. So now for this to happen, it's just like, oh my gosh. Like I saw an article or something saying that the Ukraine had bombed like 2 Russian key points. I don't believe you. I don't believe you. It's at the point now where I don't believe anything I don't see with my own 2 eyes. And it's a sad place to be in, I know. But when it comes to this world, that's just how it is. So let's get back to Joe. And by the way, how come we didn't Kamala, first black woman VP? Like, why you ain't have more to say about that? This black woman being falsely imprisoned overseas. But see, this is how they get y'all though, right? Because they told y'all, oh, she the first black vice president. Is she doing anything for black people? Same thing they did with your boy Obama. This the first black president. Newsflash, neither one of them are American descendants of slaves. Okay? Let's start there. And then secondly, when we had an issue, when we had a need as a community, where were these so-called black elected government officials? The fear machine has been pumping out a serious amount of anxiety. Listen, I don't know anybody who's not dealing with anxiety right now, honestly. If you're not, hats off to you. Hats off to you. Lies, it's all lie. That's all they do is lie. Constantly lie to get us to go along with their agenda. And it's horrible. I'm over it. For real. Kamala ain't like, okay, she's not, but nobody wants to stand that. So see now here, Joe's the president right now, right? Joe, the same man that said if you don't vote for him, you ain't black. Now, what he do? He rescued this black woman from jail. Please do not. I mean, okay, I know my audience. Like, I know my audience is elevated from this. But I just feel the need to say this. Like, please don't fall for this bull crap. Please do not let this make you think that Joe Biden is not who he is and Kamala is who she ain't. They still don't care about our black behinds. They still don't care about our poor behinds. Nothing changed. This is propaganda, and I'm not. Here's the thing: the story's not finished. It's not finished. It's not. It's not finished. So now that Brittany's home, now what's going to happen? You know what I'm saying? Are they gonna welcome her back with open arms? Is she gonna be integrated right back into society? And also, it's wartime. And y'all let the what was he called? The merchant of death out of prison. You know, and everybody's like, "Oh, why would you do that? Why would you do you think that matters? Do you think that stuff is still going on? The war is still going on. Everything is still going on. Okay? So now also another concern that people are raising is they're saying that this could be setting a pattern for the kidnapping of Americans when it comes to opposing governments wanting, I guess, our prisoners of theirs back. Well, I don't even like to say ours because the same mine. But America's prisoners, you know, that belong to these other countries. So now they're worried that the Taliban is going to come over here and start kidnapping people or something. The fact of the matter is, like, it's probably been going on so much already. You know, like the only reason that we know about this is because Brittney's famous. That's it. Brittney's famous and the timing. That's it. And I don't. No, I'm not going to say that. I'm not going to say it. I was going to say I think maybe if she was a man, it wouldn't have been all this. But I'm not going to say that. I'm not going to say that. But here's the thing. This woman, this black woman, okay, has won 2 gold Olympic medals. 2 of them. All right. Listen, I'm not even worthy to be on the same basketball court. Okay? So far be it from me to downplay her accomplishments in comparison to someone else's criminality, because that's kind of the argument as well. Like, oh well, he was such a what's the word I'm looking for? Like he was such a criminal, like such like a major criminal. Okay, I'm thinking of a word, but I can't get it. He's just like this notorious criminal, right? And they're like, oh well, I mean, what good is Brittney? She only won 2 gold medals. Have you won 2 gold medals? The people that are making these comments, you haven't even breathed the air of an Olympic stadium. You have not even been to you haven't even been to an Olympic training facility. You haven't stood on the podium. You have not done half the things that this woman has done, right? But because she's black and because she dared to stand up for her people, people were actually, let the Russians keep her. Let the Russians keep her. Well, let the Russians keep Paul then too. Let the Russians keep Paul. He was a spy. I mean, we talk about war crimes and political crimes. That's a political crime, not a little vape pen. I'm gonna say this. I'm gonna say it. Unfortunately, I've seen a lot of black people who are willing to just throw Brittney Griner to the side because of her sexuality. And hold on. If you're a famous senator, you're in charge. That's probably always what goes on. So listen, I see a lot of black people ready to throw Brittney to the side because of her sexuality. Okay. And let me just be clear about this. Sin is sin and wrong is wrong. That's not what this is about. But to me, when it comes to the eyes of the world who are watching our people like they love to do, especially during this time of Ye and Kyrie and, you know, all these conversations, I don't understand I guess it just added to the long list. But again, I just don't understand why we as Black people cannot just see like, okay, this is a collective Black issue that we need to present a united front on. And I'm not trying to be disrespectful, okay? But let's take Breonna Taylor, right? When she was viciously murdered in her sleep, okay? As things went on, you start hearing people say, oh, well, her boyfriend was a drug dealer and all this other stuff. But everyone agreed at the end of the day, none of that mattered because she did not deserve to die that way. Why we don't have that same love for Brittney Griner? See? I, I'm trying to think of like less tragic examples, but we will come together as a people for someone who may have been caught shoplifting. I have seen people come together for murderers. Okay? And here's the thing, yes, anybody can confess and anybody can repent, okay? And I'm not standing in judge of that. I'm not here to say that. What I'm speaking on is what is public knowledge about a person's behavior, lifestyle, etc. We will Okay, here we go. Rodney King. I may be aging myself here. But when Rodney King was beat by the police, no, you didn't really hear Black people talking about how he was drunk driving, how he was talking crazy. All they said was he didn't deserve that. Someone needs to pay, right? And I know Black people, listen, Black people, we have a problem with the sin of homosexuality. We do. And I say we have a problem with it because we will target that sin more than any other, right? You see what happened with Brittney. I can tell you the number of comments that I seen. Leave her over there. Ain't she a man anyway? Listen, in this in this day and time that we living in, like we cannot let these issues separate us when it comes to presenting a united front to the world. Now, what we talk about in our community, what we talk about at the house, that's something totally different. Oh, at the house, we gonna tell you, nah, you're wrong as hell. You know you're wrong for that. It is a full-on sin, and technically you deserve to die. But when it comes to outsiders trying to hurt one of us, why can't we see our skin color first and understand that their hate is going to come for all of us? It's not, they didn't single out Brittney, okay? But the fact of the matter is she fell into this trap, and this is a Black woman. And now we're talking about a whole nother foreign country. And now we're in a whole nother foreign country, okay? They do things differently. They do things differently than we do here, and we actually have no idea. I'm just disappointed to see the hate from our own people. Okay, it's the hate from our own people that have really gotten that's really got me. Okay, let's get into another topic here. Please like, share, subscribe if you have not. Please like, share, subscribe. Turn on your notifications. Tell a friend. Tell everybody. All right, so last time we were on, I had presented a topic and then I was like, maybe nah, I don't want to do that. I don't know. But anyway, I want to talk to you today about levels of gold digging, right? I know you're probably gonna be like, what do you even mean gold digging? So you could spell it gold, G-O-L-D, or you could spell it gold, G-O-A-L, because either way, it's about getting somewhere, right? Okay. And here's like, I don't know what's up with my TikTok timeline. I don't know if it's just my TikTok. I'm sure it's not. TikTok is crazy. But I've been seeing a lot of six-figure men, um, well, a lot of women uh claiming, I need a six-figure man. I need a millionaire. I needed this. I needed, my man gotta have this, my man gotta have that. And here's what really gets me, right? What really gets me is it appears that these women are my age or older. I'm 42, right? It appears that these women are my age or older, right? Spewing out this rhetoric. And of course, what do you have? Younger women, ooh, teach me. Ooh, I want to know. Ooh, me too. That's how I feel too. And I say this all the time. Like, I'm so tired of older Black women misleading younger Black women. Like, we owe them more than we give them. We really do. And y'all wrong as hell for sitting up on TikTok talking that foolishness. Y'all be single. There's the thing. The women that are talking like this are single. So that's not even making any sense to me. But anyway, here's the thing, right? You have to start where you are, no matter what. Okay. If you're sitting in Walmart, right, you don't expect to find Ralph Lauren in Walmart. You don't, because it's not there. It's not going to be in that environment. That environment is not conducive to it. Um, it would be useless in that environment. Nobody would know what to do with it. You're not going to go anywhere where this is going to be appropriate. Why am I going to be here? When you are in school, starting your career, and you're having these thoughts and you're making these decisions, please understand me. I am not opposed to wanting more in everything that you do. Okay. I made it very clear in my prayers to the Lord before I got married. Lord, I don't want to struggle with finances in my marriage. I prayed about that. I don't want to struggle with finances in my marriage or in my ministry because I've seen the effects of lack of finances. I didn't want to go through that. Okay. And so I don't think there's anything wrong with you wanting more, but I think you need to be realistic in how you think you're going to go about getting that. Okay. When it comes to your standards, as you would say, are you realistic in your standards and what you want? Like, are you going to Walmart looking for Gucci? Because that's not gonna work. That's not gonna work. Um, what you can do, right? You have viable options in that situation. Nobody's saying that where you are now is where you have to stay. That's not it. So even if you are in Walmart right now, and hey, you just might want to take a trip to Target or something, that's cool, but you need a plan to get there, right? So if you're saying, "Oh, I want to live a six-figure lifestyle," let's lead a man out. Let's not say that you saying, "Oh, I want a rich husband," because see, and then this is the thing: do you want a rich husband or do you just want money? You just want a rich husband because you want somebody to provide for you? Do you want a husband or do you want a pimp? Do you want a husband or do you want a sugar daddy? Like, y'all need to decide what y'all really want because a husband comes with more responsibilities. A husband is a job. A husband is a decision. A husband is a responsibility. Some of y'all just want money because you feel like you just want the freedom to do whatever you want to do. But just be honest with yourself. Okay? And be honest, And I listen, marriage isn't for everybody. I get it. I've heard it multiple times. I get it. Marriage is not for everyone. But what you can't do, right? What you can't do is say, "Oh, I'm gonna find me a rich man," and then think that you're gonna treat this rich man any kind of way that you want to. That's not gonna work. So, are you are you what are you working toward? And let's be clear, just because you're working towards your career, education, or you're trying to promote in your career, doesn't mean that you cannot be working toward marriage at the same time. That is absolutely doable. Please, I don't like this narrative that just because a woman, just because a black woman, yes, I'm gonna say black woman. Why? Because that's what I am. That's how I live. That's what I know. I don't like the narrative that every time a black woman is successful in her career that she can't be feminine, that she can't be soft, that she can't be cooperative at home. Now, I'm not going to lie and say that being out in the workplace doesn't give you an edge, because it does. You're out here dealing with all kind of foolishness every day. You're going to be a little rough around the edges, okay? But that does not stop you from dating. You can go to college and look for the MRS and the BS. You can get the MD and the MRS MD. You can have both, but you should not bank it all on finding a rich husband to give you the kind of life that you want. It doesn't work like that. Gold digging is not about just finding a man and thinking that, oh, he's going to take care of all my things. No, sometimes gold digging is, let me find somebody who's on my level who I can build with, and we can both build something. Preferably, you want to find somebody who already is starting to build something. This is what I be telling y'all. Like, you need to give them time to show their consistency. I remember when we used to go to church, okay, and a man would come up and call himself getting saved, honey. They be lining up waiting for him when he got out of church. Like, oh, he ready to get married. Now he done went up to the altar. He ready to get married. You got to get them a chance to prove they so. Y'all begin with these Negroes and they don't have no work to show for their words. No, it's time to go. Because he can tell you he want to be a boss all day. What are you doing about it? How are you working toward this bossdom? And I said it before and I'll say it again. If you ask him about his source of income and you are not satisfied with the answer, ma'am, sis, cousin, run. Okay? Because they are putting women in jail too. And there's no more of that, oh, I didn't know, or that's just his. No, they're going to throw you in jail too. And then they sending your kids to foster. That's just the sad reality of it. We have to not get so caught up in the material things. This is what happens. All that glitters isn't gold. You see the car, you see the clothes, you might know the address. He takes you out in his social settings and you're impressed with him and his friends. You never take time to check for the substance. Is it his? Did he pay for it? Whose name is it in? Can he afford to keep it up? Is he gonna lose it all tomorrow? When the clock strikes midnight, is the Audi gonna turn into a pumpkin? Is his Gucci suit gonna turn into some rags? You don't stick around long enough to find out before you start giving up all your talking about you in love. And the next month, y'all both sitting out on the curb because he ain't had no money and you didn't either. You didn't bother to check. If you say you want $1 million man, then start treating yourself like $1 million woman. Especially, listen, my young, single, ain't got no kids. Those of y'all that's just starting out, who you date determines who you will marry. Be more selective in your dating. I heard this a long time ago and it stuck with me. Men don't move in dating. Men don't move backwards appearance wise. The next one got to be badder than the last one. And this one got to be badder. You know what I'm saying? They're always looking to elevate. Okay. Women should not move backwards as far as financial provision. And I'm so tired of Black women being afraid to have this conversation because, oh, what are they going to say? You know what? If that man has a problem with you trying to ensure financial provision for you and your future children, he is not the man for you. And you should have no problems walking away from him and leaving him there. Him and his broke mentality. Because it's about a mentality. Let me tell y'all something I had to learn the hard way. If a man ever tells you that you want too much, you asking for too much, you doing too much, you leave him and his doing not enough self right there where you found him. Because what he's saying is he's not interested in meeting your standards. That's what he's saying. He's not interested in stepping up his game. He's interested in elevating. He is doing just fine where he at. Wherever that may begin. This is not a dog out because if he's fine with that, then fine. That's for his life. If he cool living with his mama, if he cool in his apartment, if he cool in his house, if he cool in his condo, wherever he is, from the richest to the poorest, if he don't want to do it for you, he's not going to do it for you. They're not going to come out and say, oh, I don't think you deserve all that. They're not going to come out and say, well, maybe not for you, but I have before. They're not going to come out and say that. It's your job to read between the lines. And I'm going to keep it. I'm not a good read between the liner. I'm not. Like when I was single, oh, honey, listen, you have to come and tell me that you like me because I'm not a good read between the liner. Okay. And I hate rejection. I hate rejection and embarrassment. And I hate it enough to keep me from guessing like, what are you talking about? No, come on, spell it. I need you to write me a note and spell it out. That's just how my brain works. Here's the thing, okay? Yeah, y'all can't be hoes out here. All right, y'all can't be hoes out here. And let me say it like this. You done dated this one, right? He done ran through you for about 6 months and now he done with you. And now you meet somebody else. And he may be perfect. Everything that you think you need, everything that you think you want, this is amazing. It could really work. Y'all kicking it, might be going somewhere. He takes you to meet his friends. Now your whole days is coming back to haunt you because you done smashed the homie. Sex is not take backable. It's not refundable. Okay. You can't go anywhere and say, hey, you know what? I didn't mean to do that. Can I get that piece of coochie back? That's not how that works. It's not how that works. Not only the physical aspects, but the spiritual and emotional aspects of sex. Because whether you want to realize it or not, like the higher your body count, the more you're basically adding to the spiritual graveyard that you're growing in your vagina. And I realize like maybe I gotta start talking to y'all like this because when these women are bringing forth these wicked messages, when they're bringing forth these messages of whoredom, they have no qualms about speaking bluntly. So maybe you need to hear it like I'm saying it. Not being a hoe out here needs. Somebody said something about Cardi B, and then they were talking about her, where does she perform at? Art Basel. Art Basel and how hold on a second. I want to find this for you guys cuz I want y'all to see it. Um hold on. Okay, talking about how she had this Hold on one second. So I'm trying to find I wanna find the picture for you guys so y'all can see it. Okay. Cardi B art. And Imma get better at my, like, screen sharing abilities. It's, like, my first time really trying to do it. So, I want y'all to see what she had on, right? And my thing is, even for $1,000,000. Do y'all see this? Can y'all see this? I wanna make sure y'all can see what I'm looking at. Can y'all see this? It looks like she's totally naked, right? It looks like she's totally naked, and it looks like here we go, okay. I'm sorry, y'all. I'm trying to work this thing here so y'all can see the screen while I'm talking to you. But okay, just go back and look up Cardi B Art Basel, and you'll see the images. And again, let me say this before I start talking about this, that I am in no way bashing Cardi B, okay? I don't like the way she acts, the things she does, but I totally get the made it out the hood, living good. I totally get that. I totally get the persona of it all. It's just the destructiveness in the message that I don't like. And so I'm not about her personally. I just wanted to put that out there. Now, see, here's the thing. They never minded paying us to be whores. That was never a that was never a problem. I mean, once they had to start paying us because at first they didn't have to pay us at all. They could just take what they wanted. If you're willing to do anything for money, then what good are you to anyone? Like what how can anyone trust you or expect you to stand firm on anything if you know a paycheck. And I'm gonna just say this. If my husband was cool with me doing all that, he would have never made it to be my husband. Mm-mm. Because you not worried about people looking at me? That don't bother you? Men oogling over me? Call me crazy, but I'm supposed to be a possession. You're supposed to take some kind of pride, some kind of ownership in me. And you just for $1,000,000, you'll let me go out here and parade naked. And see, like, they're in the spotlight, right? They're in the spotlight. So they're being magnified as if to say, "Oh, this is how you do it. This is how you do it. You dress nakedly and then you can get a rapper and you can live happily ever after too." We have got to start being more realistic in our thinking and in our planning. And in our planning. Like the movie Indecent Proposal. I have never seen that movie. But yes, from what I heard, yes. Yes. He offered her I saw the Simpsons episode. He offered the man money to have sex with his wife. And he said yes. Listen, like my heart hurts. It goes out to these young women because I feel like they don't have any role models. They don't have anybody to look up to. They don't have anyone to lead them. God, they don't have anybody to tell them the truth. There are so many little sayings my mother used to say, and I'd be like, "What is this lady talking about? She's crazy." But now that I'm grown, I see. I see what she meant. I see what she was saying. Okay. Now, nobody see up until recently, um, the rich the nobility, the highborn, if you will, prided themselves on staying dressed and staying warm and staying covered. This was a thing. Like, if you had enough money, $1 million from when okay. Like, if you had enough money, then you could have enough clothes on to keep yourself warm, right? You could, the furs. Just look at Game of Thrones. I mean, just any period pieces. If you go to any period pieces, even a piece like the Gilded Age. And it's really sad. Like, I'm trying to think of something like this with Black people in it, but I really can't. I can't, unfortunately. So just any period piece, even if it's a movie from slavery or any pre-dated piece, you will see that the rich, the noble, the higher up, they're fully clothed. They got their dresses on with the collars up to the neck and the bustle. The arms are covered. They have their gloves on. Somehow along the way, for some reason, we landed here where now it's the more clothes you have on, the poorer you must be. If you're not naked, the rich are naked. That's how it is now. The rich are naked. Or at least that's what they want you to think. Because what you have to remember is they're going to let a few of you through. It's just like the club. It's just like the club. When you go and stand in line, they're going to let some of you in. They're going to lift the rope for a few. But y'all ain't getting in. And here's the thing. Y'all all dressed the same, right? Y'all all knew it was cold outside, right? Everybody came half dressed because everybody was trying to get in. They only going to let a few in. They'll let a few in so they can be warm, and they'll have food in there and drinks in there, and they'll be in there partying while you standing outside shivering, being cold, waiting to be let in. When if you would just do what you're supposed to do, you wouldn't have to worry about shivering and being cold. You could be in the house and be eating. If you saying you want different, if you saying you a gold digger for real, you're going to have to be okay with being isolated. And I say this all the time. You're going to have to be okay with everyone not coming with you, because they're not going to. Look at how they doing Coach Prime. He stayed at that school for 3 years. Got them a new practice facility, football stadium, and God knows what else. And now he's saying it's time to go, and people are mad. People are mad. And here's what's even funny. Even so-called Christians, these are the same people that'll tell you, oh, God told me to quit my job. And 6 months later, they be on to something else. But you mad at this man for doing the same thing? People will be mad at you for doing that. If you hear something, whether you listening to this live or on the replay, and if you hear something and it's just like, you know what, I need to get myself together. I need to get my life together. I need to stop playing. I'm going to make a change right now. I guarantee you tomorrow, when you go out and try to implement those changes, you are going to have a problem. That is just the way things work. And see, here's the thing about stuff like that, right? Like, you want to change. You want to prove you changed. And I remember when I was messing up and I would have these conversations with my mom, like, you always judge me off my past. That's all I have to judge you on. You haven't shown me anything else. So now when this opportunity comes, and it's usually going to come at a bad time for you, but now you have this opportunity to prove you've changed. Here's this same obstacle again. Here's $100 on the table. Now's the chance to prove you're not a thief no more. Somebody left their cell phone later. Now's your chance. You caught in a situation. You could either lie or tell the truth. Now's your chance to prove you're not a liar anymore. Those things happen with that warning and suddenly. And so guess what? If you walking around on a hoe stroll all the time, when Boaz come along, that was your chance. But you out here want to be with Shaniqua and them. And no shade, because if you know my name, then you know. But you can't do that. You cannot expect see, and here's the thing. The amount of millionaire, first of all, and I'm not saying this no kind of way because I have not reached $1 million. I would love to have $1 million. But $1 million now is not the same $1 million that it was when we was little. Like when we was little, I had imagined that $1 million would take you through life. At 42, I know that's not true. $1 million, it might get somebody through life, but that's talking about a house, you know? So for you to think that, oh, there's just all these millionaires laying around and I just got to go get me one is foolish within itself. It's such a small portion of the population. Okay? And so let's be real. Look at where you live. Look at where you live. Is where you live an upwardly mobile area? Are you likely to find people who are looking to progress or who have progressed past a certain point where you are? Where are you hanging out? If you at the same club all the time, you're gonna keep running into the same bum drug. You're gonna keep running into the same broke, disgusted, lonely, hoe ass, a bunch of baby mama. You're gonna keep running to the same thing over and over again. You keep going to the same places. You keep staying in the same environment. You keep hanging around the same people. Don't be afraid to let go of what you think is familiar. Listen, it's not easy. And here's the thing: the further away you step, kind of like the harder it gets, right? Because think about anything. If you're on the beach, right, leaving the shore, those first few steps, you're still on solid ground. You can still see the sand back there. Like you can see the way back. Run back if you want to. Them first few steps, right? Everything's right back there. I can still go back. But the further out you get away from that thing, whatever that issue was, whether it was lying, stealing, whoremongering, whatever, the further away you get from that thing, the scarier it gets because you can't go back, but you're not where you're going yet. You're not at your destination yet. And I understand that feeling of just being like stuck out in the ocean, not knowing which way to go and what to do. Like, Lord, only you can lead me here. I have no idea what I'm doing. Please help. I totally understand that. But in every area of life, you're going to have to go through those changes if you expect to elevate or grow at all. It's you can't sit in one place and think that everything you want is going to come to you in that one place that you are. That's not true. That's the problem that I have with the word of faith prosperity gospel. It makes you think that, oh, I don't have to do anything. I can just name it and claim it and write a couple of checks and every blessing that I ever wanted is going to come to me. That's not true. You got to get up and work. Work without faith is, I show you my faith by my. No, you got to put the work in. Love is an action word. There's no love without work. There's no love without commitment. And here's the thing, do you love yourself enough to make changes for you? Before you can expect anybody to come in and see you as worthy of life-changing resources and just a totally in order for you to make somebody want to change your life, you got to be trying to change your life. If you don't want more, No wise man is going to give you more. That would just be foolish of him. Every time he talks to you, you sitting around doing nothing. Why should he? See, here's the thing. Y'all don't understand how the few millionaires there are think. No man who is financially sufficient is going to put up with your mouth and your attitude. They're just not. They're not going, because they don't have to. They don't have to. You not dealing with Joe Blow from around the way who all he can get is round the way girls. So he got to just deal with y'all. No, you trying to elevate to something else, ma'am, sis cousin. That means you're going to have to elevate too. Every aspect of you. And also, let me say this to my sisters with kids, stop trying to look for a man without kids. For my sisters without kids, get you a man without kids. I do not feel like it's fair. It's not fair to you women, and it's not fair to y'all kids for you to, now listen, if that man wants you, then I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about y'all out here, even with one, okay? But maybe 2, 3, 4, 5 kids talking about I want a man with no kids. What kind of crack are you smoking? You sound retarded as hell. How dare you ask somebody to come to a party with something that you don't even have? You sound slow. And I'm gonna tell you another reason why, as a woman with kids, you should want a man that has kids, because that is a dynamic that you have to live to understand. Someone who does not have kids, they don't know what that's like. Babysitting is one thing, but the day in and day out with a child, that's something you have to live to understand. Ideally, you don't have no kids, he don't have no kids. Y'all get married and raise y'all family. But in this day and time that we live in, people come with kids sometimes. And I think it would be wise for you to try to match up the kids. It don't make no sense to me. Not only the kids, but there's another adult there that you have to deal with. And that takes time and patience. And again, that's something that you have had to live to understand the intricacies of co-parenting and trying to do that successfully. You cannot, like, there's no 10 steps to getting a millionaire, right? These women, unfortunately, get up on TikTok and Instagram all day and talk about how they not settling, but ain't got ring, man, child, or pup in sight. They at the house, they in the car by themselves, going to bed by themselves, talking to you about, oh, I need a man. No, see, here's the thing. Somebody that don't get no men, it's easy for them to make these ridiculous claims, right? It helps them because they feel like, oh, if I just make them think that my standard's just so high. No, when the fact is your attitude is horrible, your breath stink. Like, and yes, I said your breath stink because some of y'all need to get up on this hygiene. Brush and floss. Use some mouthwash. Have your standards and stick with them. My mama instilled in me when I was young, because she used to take us out to eat all the time. That's like something we like to do. We like to go out to eat. So my mother will always tell me, like, if a man want to take you out to eat, don't let him take you nowhere you go with your family. And a lot of people have a problem with that. Okay, fine. Then this just ain't the party for you. If you don't ask for more out of life, you won't get more out of life. And you never know if you got the right one, if you too busy. Look, stop thinking like, oh, I'm gonna be meek and pious while we're dating. And then when we get married, he's just going to shower me. That's not true, honey. The way he acts when y'all are dating is the way he's going to act when y'all get married. And he's going to expect the same thing out of you. So guess what? If you was all meek and pious and didn't need your hair and nails done before y'all got married, you don't need it now. And that's just what he gonna say. Sound like an average college commercial. Wait a minute, hold up. I can't find the laugh button. Oh my gosh. Average college commercial. Well, I'm just saying. I'm just saying. You, me, we, you, because I'm married. You have to, you ones that are sitting here watching these videos. Listen, and I said you could call it GOAL digging too, because that's something that you have to work for too, right? And you also have to be realistic and setting your goals. Listen, my married sisters, I know it gets hard. I know it does. I'm not gonna lie to you. Like, my husband asked me the other day, like, if we weren't married, where would I be? I probably already have my MD. I would either be working on my MD, have my MD, or be a CRNA, a certified registered nurse anesthetist, right? I would have those going on. I would be doing something. And sometimes in the day-to-day of being a wife and a mom, it can make you wonder, like, well, if I would have went and did this, then what? If I would have went and did that, then what? And so I want to talk to you about something called opportunity cost. Okay. Opportunity cost is what you give up to have a thing. I wanted a family, but the career was my backup plan. I'm just keep it funky with y'all. Like, I don't know why. I don't know if it's me not growing up in a whole. I don't know, but it was always in me that I wanted a family first and foremost. Like, yeah, I might have like said I wanted to be a teacher or something, but for real, I just always wanted to be a housewife. Like, for real. And that's fine for me. You know what I'm saying? But some of y'all need to think realistically about what you're saying you want. Um, Everything has its ups and downs. Everything. If I was a doctor, there would be ups and downs. If I was a nurse anesthetist, there would be ups and downs. I'm a stay-at-home mom and there are ups and downs. Everything has its ups and downs. You just have to, I'm not going to say you decide. I'm going to say you have to talk to God and figure out which path is the one for you. Which of those opportunity costs are going to affect you the least? Because here's what I have no qualms about saying. If I were a MD, a CRNA, my craving would always be for a family. That's the way it's always been. I will always want that. Even if I was doctor, I would have been Dr. McCullough or whatever. So before you start trying to ingrain yourself in someone else's life, you need to consider that and think it through. Think about, are you ready to incur those opportunity costs? And that's with anything. You get the red shirt instead of the blue shirt. No, you lost the blue shirt. You know what I'm saying? That's with anything. And so these are the things you need to look at when you're praying about your decision. I would never advise you to make a decision on your own. When you're praying about your decision, this is what you have to look at. I want so bad for us to focus on complete Black families, making whole Black families. No, again, no shade to Kiki Palmer, but damn, girl. Another one? Another black single mom. And I know, she rich, she got money. She wouldn't be a regular single mom. She's still a single mom. She got a boyfriend. She's still a single mom. They not married. And again, I know marriage looks different, but they are in no way proclaiming to have made that next level of commitment. That commitment before God that says, yes, we're going to stay together forever. We're going to raise a family together. We're going to make this work. Nowhere has she signified that she's made that commitment. So she is a single mother. So here we go again, another black single mom. Listen to me. Single momdom, as much as these celebs try to make that it's cute and that it's cool. What's that TikTok sound say? What's something that's trashy if you're poor, but classy if you're rich? And here's something I ask y'all to take a gander at. Let's look at the response to Keke Palmer being pregnant and the response to Rihanna being pregnant. I didn't hear too much cries about a black single mother when it was Rihanna. And I'm just pointing, let's think about how we examine stuff. Why Rihanna didn't get this slack. Now, I could go and pull up a picture of both of those lovely young ladies. And unless you want to live in oblivion, you could easily come up with a few theories about why one pregnancy announcement was met differently than the other one. A millionaire is not going to walk up to your door. A billionaire is not going to come and knock on your door. You have to put yourself in the environment to find one or put yourself in a situation to help build one. And I'm going to Keke Palmer has a man as well. Rihanna had a man who was there before doing that. Keke Palmer has a man. She has a long-term boyfriend. And see, that's the other thing. Nobody even knew she had a man. So that may have also led to that black single mother conversation, because there was no, you know what I'm saying? There was no like strong presence of this man. Age difference, they're both in their 30s. I'm not mistaken. I think they're about like the same age. But what was I saying? I forgot. A millionaire is not going to come and find you at your door. Yes. Okay. Put yourself in a situation to find one. And I'm going to be honest with you. I don't suggest that. I don't suggest walking up on a ready-made situation unless you are already financially this man's equal. Like, y'all both billionaires, cool. Y'all both millionaires, cool. But if you, honey, are just a hundredaire and this man is a millionaire, I don't suggest that, because now you're putting yourself in a position to be oppressed. I'm going to just call it what it is. I don't think nobody knows she got to do it. Right. No, I didn't know until like the next day. And he had said something on Instagram, and that's when I saw the article. But you're putting yourself in a position to be oppressed. And I'm just keep it funky with y'all, okay? That's dangerous. That is dangerous, because now you are subjecting yourself to someone. And if this is your mindset, you're just doing it for a financial reason. As someone who has done something stupid like that before, like I told y'all, I don't talk to y'all about stuff that I haven't done, I haven't been through, or that I have not witnessed personally with my own two eyes. So as someone who has been down this road before, let me just assure you that you need to run away. Like, run away, love. And especially if he's just getting to know you and all of a sudden he want to do everything for you. He want to pay for you for this. He wants you to move in with him. Run away, love. Okay? Run away. Some people need people to control. Some people need people to manipulate. Some people need people to be subjected to them or to feel good about themselves. Okay? What's the saying? Money doesn't change you. It just gives you more freedom to be who you already were. All right? So, if this guy was an asshole before, he's going to be an asshole now. That's only for lame dudes, though. I think a real man is not looking for his financial equal and desires to be financially straight before taking on a wife. Very true. Very true. And so here's the thing. Yes, there are men like that out there, but they're a dime a dozen. They are very few and far between. That is a break off, a one off. In general, for the safety of my sisters and cousins and even my very own daughters, I wouldn't suggest that. I'm not saying not to date, you know what I'm saying? But move slowly. Move slow. Get to know what's going on. Bring him around your family. Let them sniff him out a little bit. That's with anybody. That's with Joe Schmo or freaking CEO of whatever. But what I need y'all to understand is, like, people with money don't think like regular people. They just don't. And especially if you have someone who's a narcissistic, abusive personality with money, that's a dangerous situation for you, ma'am, sis cousin. The goal is not to find a millionaire husband. The goal is to build a millionaire life. You be better off finding out who's the nerd at school and who got the best grades in class. You'll be better off acting like you need it or going to tutoring and getting with the tutor. And then y'all build something together. This way, I don't owe you nothing and you don't owe me nothing. This is out together. And let me just say, there's more of a joy and a confidence. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm confident. Like, yes, I'm my husband's second wife, but everything you see right here, ma'am, sis cousin, we built this. We built this. This is the house of Mano. He wasn't rich. I didn't come and move in this house with him, me and my kids, and I just, no, ma'am, sis cousin. When we decided we were going to get married, we went and found us a place to live, rented furniture, okay, and worked our way up from there. Not saying it's not without lumps and bumps, because it definitely is. But what I need y'all to understand, what I want y'all to understand, because I know what you want. Okay, I know what you want. You want peace. You want stability. You want consistency. You want a man that's gonna do what he say he gonna do. You want a man that's gonna be there when you close your eyes at night and when you wake up in the morning, and be happy to see you, just as you happy to see him. I get all that, and please, if there was like a 10-step handbook that I could give y'all, I would. But when I tell you, me myself, I don't understand. All I know is I prayed and I was obedient, and my prayers were answered. That man right there. We ain't rent that furniture. Okay, we financed it. Okay, we financed that furniture. But this furniture we got in this house right now, we paid for that in cash. Cash money. Okay, so listen, if there was a 10-step book that I could just give y'all, trust me, I would. But it's not that. It's not like that. If you want a different life, you have to be willing to let God architect that. You can't run that play. You can't. The unspoken bond between me and my husband, it's nothing that he or I could do. We was with uncles or something. And his uncle was like, nah, what y'all got is natural. You can't fake that. No amount of money is going to give you that. And besides all the millions of dollars, that's what you really want. You want love. You know, and I know people like to joke like, "Oh, well, money can buy happiness." um, it can give you temporary moments of giddiness and joy. It can. But if you're not happy in your home, it does not matter. There are millionaires that kill themselves every day. There are billionaires that kill themselves every day. Having a rich man is not the answer to your problems. Boaz don't want your ass because he know you only want him for his money. Are you trying to learn? Are you trying to be with a man that can teach you? Because if he's a boss, then he's going to want to teach you some things. Are you willing to be cooperative, friendly, feminine, and submissive? Are you willing to be obedient? When he give you this signal in front of everybody, are you willing to be quiet and not worry about, oh, my friend's going to think he got me in check? There's levels to this thing. Sometimes you got to start 'em at the ground floor. Sometimes both of y'all working at Walmart, and that's okay. We gonna work our way up to manager. I'm a figure out something a business I can start for us, or he already got a business going, so I might need to go out and get a job. I did it. Me and my husband was both working when we first got married. You know, and I'm not saying that there's not the occasional girl who doesn't luck up and come up on her Prince Charming and everything's, you know, happily ever after for the most part. I'm not saying that that doesn't happen. But what I'm saying is to be realistic and prepare for what it is that you think you want. And, you know, by prepare, I don't mean something deep and mystical and all that other stuff. I mean, getting you together. I mean, figure out what you want for real. That's the first thing. Do you want a rich husband or do you just want to be rich? That's now, okay. If you think you want a rich husband, are you willing to build you a rich husband or you just think one's supposed to come already assembled. I was thinking about batteries when I was saying assembled. So already assembled with the batteries in. That's not gonna work like that. You have to be willing to put the work in at whatever level. At whatever level. So please don't y'all, my young sisters, my single sisters, don't listen to these old crazy women on the internet. Don't, because they are leading y'all down a road of hell, death, and destruction, loneliness, and bitterness. Stop and ask yourself, why is this old behind woman talking like this? Listen, I know what it's like to feel stuck somewhere, to want more, to want to move forward, to want to go on. I remember, and I still trust me. Like just because we are where we are now, we're not finished. We have a bigger vision, and we're working toward that bigger vision. And that gets frustrating. And I'm gonna throw in this on that too sometimes. But if you know that you're tired of waking up in the same situation, then you have to decide to put your foot forward and move ahead. Don't worry about your boyfriend. Don't worry about your baby daddy. Don't worry about your best friends. Don't worry about any of those people. They're going to vandalize your mural. They're going to dog you out. They're going to talk about you to whoever listens. They're going to call you all kind of names to your face. They're going to tell you, oh, you think you too good. You're going to have to deal with all of that. But that's okay. It's worth it to get to where you're trying to go in life. Know where you're trying to go. You know what I'm saying? Like, you gotta know your goal to make to make sure that it's worth it. Whether it be career-wise or romance-wise. And don't stop. You want a job paying you 10K more a year, then start looking. You want 20K more a year? Do you need to take some Google classes? They got the little Google certifications now. You ain't even gotta go to school. You do it right there on Google. There's a way to get to where you're trying to go. You just have to pray to God that He opens your eyes to let you see that. My way to where I wanted to go was to leave New Jersey and get my butt here so I could snag that one. That's the way I wanted to go. I wanted a family. Your way to where you might want to go may be school, some enrichment classes at work. Maybe you just need to focus and do better at work. Do not expect Boaz to want your ass and your ass ain't even together. You don't know up from down, left from right. Your bills ain't paid. And so now you're not even really dating to marry. You dating to get somebody to cover your rent for the next month. You dating because you might need him to help you pay your bills in a couple of months. So what kind of relationship is that really? That's not the way to move forward. And I tell my kids all the time, when you're dating, like, you do not want to like so bad relationship karma, for lack of a better word. And what I mean by that is you out here doing people wrong, treating people any old kind of way. When you finally meet someone who you might kind of like a little bit, you're insecure and you're always worried about the stuff that you used to do coming back to you. It may or it may not. But now you're always worried about it. Now this person could be doing something totally innocent. And because the behavior looks like something that you used to do, now you all on them. Ruining a relationship. Do you first. Listen to me. I tell my daughters this all the time. Singlehood is the only time as a woman that you will get to focus on yourself. That is the only time. From marriage forward, your life is now devoted to your family, which is a blessing. Please understand what I'm saying. I'm not talking against marriage and family. I'm pro marriage and pro family. But what I'm telling y'all is understand the commitment that you're making before you're trying to make it. You might want the millionaire husband and the $1 million wedding. But what about when y'all get home and he throw his clothes all over the floor? Or he make a mess? Or he talk to you crazy and you don't like it? There's much other stuff to have to deal with. And it's never easy to navigate. It's somebody who has some issues. You know, I can admit that. Like, I've had to work through a lot of stuff in my marriage. Because I just didn't realize how much stuff bothered me. And see, that's the thing about staying single for so long. Like, you may feel like, oh, I'm healed from this. But you never know if you're healed from a thing until you're put back in that situation. Like, sure, I thought I was healed from my abusive past and the abusive relationships that I was in. But when I got with my husband, come to find out, no, like, that stuff still affects me. It was to the point where it made it hard for him to talk to me, because every time his voice would raise, I'm running for cover trying to protect myself. Because even though it was 20 years ago, in my mind, when that voice get up, oh, I'm about to get hit, let me go hide. You see what I'm saying? And this another thing I mean by the spiritual graveyard in your coochie. Because you just keep getting involved with these men and these spirits and these experiences and these traumas. Not saying now you ain't good for love no more, but you make it harder for people to love you. And I've done the same thing. Listen, I'm not sitting here as somebody who's, oh, I'm so perfect. I only fell from heaven and had sex with one man, and here I am today. No, my story is quite the opposite. So please understand when I'm talking to y'all, I'm talking to y'all from my heart. And I'm telling you, it's not worth it. Don't do it. It ain't that much fun. It's not. All right, y'all. Thank you so much for kicking it with me. I'm going to just have a little confessional moment. We got like 10 minutes left here, so I'm closing. I'm going to just confess a little something here to you. I'm struggling. Like, I'm trying to get the new a new format down for the show so that it works better. So it's a lot of trial and error, trying to figure out what topics to cover, because I want to have topics that people are interested in, but it also be some stuff that I want to kind of get into. But I know, my mind can be a little strange, I guess. I tend to think about things that I guess most people wouldn't readily consider. And so I don't want to, bombard people with that. I don't want to be on here boring people because then ain't nobody going to watch. So please be patient with me. Bear with me as I'm working through this, trying to get this show format down. In the meantime, if you are on the TikTok, the Instagram, the Facebook, please give me a follow at The Wife of Mono. I am there. Follow me.
Hello.
Hey. You follow my wonderful, wonderful husband at Monologue Magad, MONOLOGMAGAD. There it is right here. Also, yeah. We're going to talk about that later. Also, don't forget to check out his new album over here. Well, it's not new. Just Hold On album. He does have new music coming soon. So go ahead and listen to Just Hold On. So you have them classes, and then you'll be ready for the next one. You'll figure out and find your niche. I hope so. Pray for me, please, sis. Pray for me. Hello, family. Oh, this is part of my family. This is part of the House of Mono. Y'all want to say hi?
Chit.
Introduce yourselves.
Hi.
Come on, Abby.
Hi.
Come on. This is one of my girls. She came home from college today. You got to get so many views because of you. You got to come and do a podcast with me. I'd love to.
Ain't nobody came to see you, Otis.
See, Tanya says, hi, family. Say shalom.
Hello.
Shalom.
So I know y'all haven't met her. This is Abby. This is my 19. Soon she'll be 19. Oh my God. She'll be 19 on the 22nd. This is the one that attends Morris Brown, you guys. You hear me talk about her all the time, soliciting your prayers. Shout out to Abby. Are you a celebrity?
Get out of here. Get out of here. She's in self.
She might be a celebrity.
That's right. Hit her with the sound effect.
I love you, Abby. I told you to come in here. Oh, thank you, Tanya. Thank you so much. Listen, I know we're at the end, but like, share, subscribe, turn on your notifications. Tell your friends when we go live. Are we doing?
No. We might be doing something tomorrow, but it'd be different. I'm not sure.
Okay, so we might be doing something tomorrow. We're just not sure what that may or what did he do? We're just not sure what that may or may not be. But we will try to definitely keep y'all posted. I'll be posting more on TikTok, y'all. I will. I know I have been slipping, but I'll be getting back on it. I got to get our socials back popping. I need less than 100 followers on TikTok in order to be able to go live. Less than 100.
Cool.
So work with me, please. Oh, also, I don't know if you've been catching the cute little pics and videos of the pups, but you can keep up with them at Mono's Westside Bullies.
Really?
If the Lord should place it on your heart, there's the Cash App for your good sis. Just in case you have not, because you asked not. So there you go.
Keep that on there.
Okay, well, I wanted to go through the rest. No? Okay. I said go back. So there's my Cash App.
If you are inspired by the
Yes,
content, if
please.
you want to continue to see this platform grow, by all means, hey man, shoot $1. Hey, $1, $2,
$1, $2,
$1 million, whatever the Most High lay on your heart. You know what I'm saying?
whatever
These
dollars.
shows ain't free. You know what I'm saying?
They're not free in terms of money or time. I do have to take time from my family to do these. So
Stop pressing the
you know, again, if you feel led
Sheesh.
to give, please do so. Please keep Takeoff's family in your prayers. I read an article about Offset going through some stuff today. So, you know, just please keep that family in your prayers. There's something called the Great Die Off 2022. Y'all need to Google that and read up on it.
Y'all talking about the people that's just
The
dying?
celebrities. Yeah. Well, not just the celebrities, but
No, yeah, listen, man. But they talking about, man, 2023 is gonna go crazy. They all talking about the vaccine. You know what I'm saying? And these folks that took the vaccine, you got jokers that are passing that down, no out of nowhere. Where they say 2023 about to get crazy. We pray for all of our people, man, who took the vaccine, who took the vaccine. You know what I'm saying? We are non-vaxxers here at this house. Matter of fact, these two young fellows that you are looking at, they have never had a needle inside of their body.
never. All praise
Even
to the
from
Most
birth.
What's that supposed to mean?
All praises to the Most High. He don't even know what a shot is because he's never had it. It means that you've never had a shot. You never had this man-made medicine that America gives. You never had it injected into your body.
Is that a bad thing?
No, that is the best thing
Yeah,
ever.
it's the best thing.
America makes you think it's a bad thing, but it's really an awesome thing.
Yeah, so please, y'all stay vigilant, stay prayed up for yourselves and for each other, for your families, especially at this time. We know that, you know, this is a particularly dark time of the year, not just naturally, but spiritually as well. So stay prayed up, stay close to your families. Wives, stay obedient to your husbands. I know it's not always easy. I know sometimes they get on your nerves. I know, but trust me, like there's nothing like the favor of God on your life, and there's one of the best ways to ensure the favor of God on your life as a wife is to be obedient, submissive, cooperative with your husband, a good mom to your kids as much as you possibly can.
All praises to the Most High. Talk to him, Atticus. Talk to him. Talk to the people, man. Get him in the mic. Talk to him, man.
You're not gonna say nothing. How old are you, Atticus? Tell everybody how old you are.
4.
You're 4.
Man, talk to him on some real stuff, man. Let the people know something, man.
What
Don't
do you
get
like to
shy in
do?
front of the camera.
I like to play with my brother and eat biscuits.
Eat biscuits.
And tell them all to repent, man, and keep the law, statutes, and commandments, and tell them who we are as a people.
To keep the law, statutes, and commandments. And we're a family, a team family.
And who are we? Who are we?
The chosen ones.
We're the chosen ones. The Bible speaks of.
How old are you, Paxton? And what do you like to do?
Eat eggs and look for
Let
lizards
Paxton
and
tell us.
bugs.
What do you like to do, Paxton?
Catch lizards.
Catch lizards.
And
eat eggs.
And catch bugs.
Do you guys like homeschool?
Your boy. Yes.
You like homeschool?
Yes, ma'am. I like cooked on phonics.
You like hooked on phonics?
Atticus, your bowl. Hey.
All right, y'all. We got less than a minute left. We love you. Thank you so much. Please, again, like, share, subscribe to YouTube at Monologue McGad. Download the Nasaya TV app, NASIYA.TV. so that you can not only see me live every Thursday, but also check out some of their other wonderful programming. They have other wonderful classes on there, some documentaries.
Also, if y'all are not tuned in, man, make sure y'all check in with the Light Hebrew magazine, bro. The Light Hebrew magazine gives a lot of content for Israel, man. Yasharallah, man. Light Hebrew magazine, Messiah TV app, and
Monologue Magad
Monologue
on YouTube.
Magad, you know what I'm saying?
The Wife of Mono on the
Spirit-filled
TikTok and the
Israel.
Instagram.
You know what I'm saying?
Spirit-filled Israel, Mono's Westside Bullies, the Print Doctors, Top Tier Party, Stripes 535. The list goes on and on. You need a black-owned business? We got one. Shalom, we love you tonight.